Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa D'Amico, and I'm with the Rockland Arts Festival. And I have the honor today of speaking with photographer Tina Traster. And I have to start off by making a confession. I am a very big fan of Tina's photography. And I highly recommend, just from the start here, anyone listening to this interview should follow Tina because her photography has a very beautiful and subtle narrative to it that you can make your own as a viewer. And I look forward to seeing her work because it actually makes my day better. So, Tina, I'm so happy to speak with you, and I have a couple of questions for you to get us started. Um, I would love to know, how did your journey begin as an artist, as a photographer, and was there like a pivotal moment that made um, pursuing photography a little bit more serious for you?
Well, first of all, thanks for doing this, and thank you for making me feel seen and valued. That really helps. Um, the word that I'm going to pick up on is the word that you used, narrative. Um, I feel like I was a born writer. I have made an actual career of writing for almost 40 years. I am a journalist first, and I think that everything I do radiates from that core. So, at my very core, the world is about stories. Through my lens, both through the camera lens and through my eyes, everything is a story. I have that terrible habit where if two people are sitting in a restaurant, I make up the story about who they are and where they live and what they're talking about that night. I have that terrible habit. So I see the world around me in movie cells, in screens, and in stories, in narratives. And I think that both my writing, which is how I've made my living, but also through photography, has been an organic process for me. It's been a default for the way that I organize the world. It's a default for the way that I synthesize the world. I boil down what I think the world, can feel very complex and overwhelming. And for me, a photograph or a story is a capture. It's a way to organize material and also to have some authority over the material.
Huh. So the piece that is in the festival is a black and white, and it's a beautiful photograph of a woman and a horse. As a photographer, how do you determine whether to use color or black and white with your photo?
So I remember taking that photo. I think photographers always remember every photo they've ever taken and where they were, or maybe I'm odd, but I remember that we were driving down toward Frenchtown in Hunterdon County, which is a beautiful rural area of New Jersey. And we passed this stable, and I saw this woman cuddled up, nuzzling with the horse. And I got out, and she didn't know that I was taking the photo, but I took the photo actually in color, digital photography, and what it instantly speaks to is that that, that human animal connection, which most of us can relate to, whether it's to a cat, a dog, any animal whatsoever. And it was just this moment that to me was so timeless that I felt like black and white did it justice. Because I think the effect of black and white, it somehow has that, it brings nostalgia, it brings a sense of timelessness, and it also brings a sense of drama. I think.
Yeah, because I feel that way, especially with that photograph. It's a very sweet moment, but doing it in black and white does elevate the emotion in it.
Yeah, I mean, you can feel that woman's love for that animal. And for me, when I saw that moment, and even when I look at that photo, a funny aside to that is after I had taken that photo and I'd come back and developed it, and whatever, a while later, I tracked her down. I remembered the riding stable that actually this is one of those stables, for like at-risk kids or kids with special needs. And I tracked her down and I said, I'm not a stalker, but I want to let you know that I took a picture, took a photo, of you and that horse, and I sent it to her, by the internet. I sent it to her because I just thought she'd want to have it, and it was that was really a sort of 360 because normally you capture something, you take it away, it becomes yours, and then if you give it back to the world, you do that generally in an anonymous way when you're the sort of doing the sort of photography that I do, which I largely think of as street photography. I'm not, I haven't been a commercial photographer, so what I do with my work just ends up back in the world. But in this one odd case, I did track her down because I felt like we all shared a moment, and also it speaks to my absolute deep and profound love of animals myself. So it was a story that said, I know that love.
And with your photography, I feel like that's the connection that you have with your viewers um, in the ordinary. Like you take these beautiful, what we would consider like everyday moments,
Yeah.
and you find the beauty in them.
Yes, I feel like not just the beauty, but the story.
Mhm.
I feel like I can take a photo of a desolate train station as I did over the weekend, and this to me the story is this cold winter day and the trees on the sort of through the background, and you can see them through the opening of the train station and the desolateness of this train station, and it just tells a winter story. Yeah, I feel like like I said before, everything I see is not just what it is, but it's kind of how I interpret it.
Tina, thank you so much for speaking with me today. There is a genuine magic that happens through your lens, and thank you for sharing it with the world.
Thank you so much for your kind words.